Hello! You already save a lot of money every year thanks to our videos, so save on car parts too. Buy them on the Mr. Auto app. Shipping is free!
Turn your engine off and pull up the handbrake. To be able to change the inner and outer tie rod on your vehicle, you must lift the front of the car and remove the wheels to gain complete access to the steering system. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels, raise the front of the vehicle and put it into axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, racing your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. You will then be able to take off the wheels. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. You will now be able to see the inner and outer tie rods. With a 22mm spanner, start by loosening the locking ring nut on the inner tie rod. It is there to stop any form of rotation of the two pieces towards each other, as this could have an impact on the geometric settings of your vehicle. With a felt tip pen, trace markings between the inner and outer tie rod. This will be useful later on during its assembly and disassembly. Now, using a socket wrench and a 70mm socket, release the holding lug nut on the tie rod. This lug nut is normally easy to take off. Place it on the end of the threading so as to protect the tie rod in the next step. If you don't have a ball joint puller, take a hammer and hit it on the lug nut hard just at the end of the threading. The ball joint should move away from the pivot, not remove the lug nut from the ball joint. All while paying careful attention to the markings, unscrew the ball joint, counting the number of turns needed to extract the ball joint. This will be used in reassembly to get as close as possible to the initial geometry settings. Remove the locking ring nut on the tie rod. With wire cutters, cut the metal ring on the protective sleeve around the tie rod. It is located on the steering cog. Take a small flathead screwdriver and lever the plastic clips off the sleeve and remove it. Using a tie rod iron or an extractor, a specific tool for carrying out this job, you can now loosen everything without difficulty. To do this, insert the tool up to the fixed part of the tie rod. Then with a socket wrench and a long extender, force it in an anti-clockwise direction. Remove the tool, then finish removal by hand. Grease the threading on the new part, then put it in the steering cock housing. Still with the same tool, but this time in a clockwise direction, hold the tie rod. It is vital to properly hold this element. Then remove the tool. With a small flathead screwdriver, remove the O-ring seal on the steering cog. Grease the new joint. Then put it in place, taking care to fully place it into its groove. It makes it possible to ensure that the steering sleeve is waterproof. Now take the next sleeve and the silicone grease supplied in the kit. Grease the joint on the sleeve and insert the new metal ring. You should also grease the new tie rod at the point when the plastic clips touch. Then insert the sleeve. Take care when putting it in place. Put the new plastic clip in place and lock it in using pliers. Do the same with the metal ring on the cog. There's a specific pair of pliers for carrying out this operation, but wire cutters with pliers should do the trick. Tighten the ring, taking care not to force the movement or to cut the ring. Using a felt tip pen, write on the new parts the previously identified markings. Grease the threading on the tie rod and place the new locking ring nut on the end. Put the ball joint back in place, paying careful attention to the markings. Make the same number of turns as were counted during disassembly. Grease the housing of the ball joint, which will facilitate future disassemblies. Then put the pivot in place. Assemble the lug nut provided with a new part, putting pressure on the ball joint. Tighten it using a socket wrench and a 70mm socket. The conical shape of the ball joint, pivot link, should be enough to stop them rotating during tightening. Firmly tighten. Having checked that everything has been aligned with the markings, fix the locking ring nut with a 22mm spanner. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. Regulated and perfectly aligned, it aims to ensure perfect control over your vehicle and regular wear on the front tyres. Checks on tyre alignment, when carried out by a professional, will guarantee that your steering system has been perfectly aligned and is in good working order. Then, you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle putting it back on the ground before properly fixing them in place. Operation completed.